Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about the book for July for my 6 books for 2025 project, where I talk about a book every 2 months here with you guys, and it's going amazing so far. I'm so happy with the book choices. Thank you, husband. But I am just so happy with this book. Oh, I'm so glad my husband picked it for me. I didn't know about this book. I think I'd heard it before, but I'd never read it. And I'm talking about The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. Oh my goodness, you guys, what a book. Honestly, if you've read it before, comment down below. Oh my goodness, if you love it as much as me or if I'm crazy, because what a book. It's amazing. I started crying even in the introduction, written by the illustrator, Ernest H. Shepard, the same one that did the illustrations for Winnie the Pooh. And the illustrations in this book are amazing. So yeah, it was totally worth it. Getting this edition from a local bookstore was just so worth it. My husband saw it and he was like, you know what, this one looks really good, because he had picked it before. And I was just like, you know what, I trust you. I know that you have really good taste in books, so I just completely trust you. But I had no idea that it was going to be as amazing as it was, that the reading experience, that everything was going to be this amazing. So much so that I didn't want it to end. I deliberately read very slowly so it wouldn't finish, basically, because I wanted to be with everyone, with Mole and Rat and Badger and even Toad. I missed Toad, and I thought that I wouldn't, at least when I was reading his parts where he just drives everyone crazy. He was driving me crazy, and I was like, oh, cannot wait to not have to hang out with Toad anymore. Actually, I miss him. I miss you, Toad. So yeah, but anyway, let's talk about this book. You probably read it before. It's quite like a classic. It's a children's book. It's a classic. And I completely understand it being so, because here we have 4 animals. Actually, it doesn't start with these 4 animals, but it's about these 4 friends. And they're all different species, but they're friends and they live like humans. So they have like little houses and everything in the woods and like in the lake, and even like in big houses and mansions like Toad. But it's quite interesting because they also have humans here in the book. But it works. It totally works. Here we start with Mole, this little guy, and he lives in his hole in the ground. And this reminds me so much of The Hobbit and Tolkien, and just makes me feel like a hobbit, and like a mole and a rat and all of these creatures, a badger. But anyway, Mole, he is doing his spring cleaning. So he's cleaning everything at home, but he just decides that he wants to go out in the world, and he escapes his own house and his own hole in the ground, and he starts walking, and he sees beautiful things. And the writing here is so amazing. It's so truly enchanting. It's beautiful. But he comes across Rat, who is a water rat, and they become friends. And Rat shows Mole the river, and he shows him like how to drive a boat, and anyway, how to live life by the river. And Mole basically moves in with Rat, and they start living together, and they're really good buddies, and it's so sweet. They have picnics and they take care of the river. They just have the best time. And this first part of the book is so magical. It's really cute. There's a moment where Mole decides to go to the woods, and Rat has told him that the woods are dangerous, and Mole decides to go. And he gets lost, and he can't find, and it starts snowing, and he can't find his way back home. He's scared. There are a lot of creatures in the woods. It's a bit like that scene from Snow White where all of the animals, where she sees the eyes of all of the animals around her. And it's just so sweet, but he's so scared, so he stays there. rat thinks there's something wrong with him, so he goes after him and then he finds him. But unfortunately, it starts snowing and then they get snowed into a hole. But eventually they decide to get out and they find a mat. So basically someone's house. And it's the badger's house. And this is also an amazing moment in the book. The badger is like this big badger and really sweet but simple animal, kind of rough around the edges, but really sweet. And he receives them, and it's just so nice, that scene where they are so cold out in the snow and they go into the house and Badger takes care of them and serves them food. It's just really sweet. And anyway, it's just a really nice moment in the book that I loved. But there's also their other friend who is Toad. He is the rich man in the neighborhood. I forgot to say, but there's this beautiful, beautiful map right in the beginning, and we have everyone's houses, so we know exactly where everything is and where everyone is. So here you have the rat's house, the mole's house, and then you have Toad Hall, the mansion here, and the woods where Badger lives here. I found myself going back to the map to see where everything was, and it was really helpful. I really liked it. But the book is enough in itself. You don't really need a map because it's so picturesque, clear. All the pictures are alive in your head. It's really well written and you feel like you're in their world. But then, like I said, there are moments where Toad, he's really rich. He's the kind of the clown of the group, but kind of, how can I say this, completely clueless. And he thinks that he's very, it sounds bad and I feel really bad saying that about Toad, but he's narcissistic for sure. It's like a narcissistic disorder. And he thinks everything's about him, but he is sweet. He's a sweet Toad. He's just, anyway, you cheer for him, but at the same time you're like, Toad, why would you go and do this? Like, stop, just relax. But he is always trying something new, and here the main problem is that when he finally sees a car. So I think in this moment of the book, they are together, the mole, the rat, and Toad. They decide to go on a trip. Actually, Toad decides to go on this trip, and he just brings Mole and Rat with them. And it's like this, it's not an RV, but it's sort of like one, but it's still with the horse. So it's not like a motor car or anything like that. So they go on this trip, but then they have an accident with an actual car. And then when Toad sees the car, instead of him being sad because his carriage or whatever old RV is destroyed, he gets obsessed with the motor cars. So he starts renting them and getting them and buying them, and then having accidents and putting people's lives in danger, like everywhere. And it's completely crazy and clueless, but it's fun to read. And he eventually gets arrested. So I don't know if this is any spoilers for you guys, but you probably read this book before. If you haven't and you don't want any spoilers, you can stop now. But anyway, I would just say everything about it because it's just fun to talk about this book. But Toad gets arrested. But when he gets arrested by humans because he steals the car from a group of humans. And actually, when he steals this car, he's already going through something because he's been crazy. His behavior, like I said, has been insane. And then Badger, Mole, and Rat decide to go and take care of him at his house, but he escapes. He just decides to run away and steal a car. And then, of course, he gets busted and arrested. And then he's in this prison. It's really funny the way that he escapes. He pretends to be a washer lady. And it's so funny that people actually think that he is a woman. That does laundry for people. And it's so funny because in the book it said like, oh yeah, and you couldn't possibly recognize Toad because he looked exactly like the lady. And I just kept thinking, what did the lady look like, you know? But it's funny because of course he's green and the lady is not, but in children's book that makes sense, and it made sense in my head too. But it's really funny. And he escapes finally. Anyway, when he gets back to Toad Hall, he finds out actually he doesn't even get there. He's running away from the people who he stole the car from actually. And Rat finds him and then brings him home, and then he gives him food and everything. He's been arrested, you know, or had been arrested for a long time. And Rat tells him that Toad Hall was taken over by, what's the name of the animal now? I forgot. They're so cute, but I completely forgot. Oh, weasels. Of course, Toad Hall was taken over by weasels, and then they have to come up with a plan to get Toad Hall back, and then they do, and it's really sweet. You know, it's such a nice book, you guys. Honestly, I wish I could read it again, but I have so many other books on my list, on my TBR, that it's crazy. But I think I will reread it very soon, maybe when I get pregnant, and then I'll read it out loud for the kid, you know, or the baby in my tummy, or maybe after when they're older. But I can't wait to read it, and especially read it for our kiddos. Guys, so much fun and so sweet. So sweet. Gabrielle said, this is you, like you reading it, you wish that you had their life. And I was like, yes, but I kind of do. This new place that we moved into is kind of like a hobbit hole, and I am all here for it. That's what I want in life, is to have a little like cozy house where I can read my books and drink my tea, my coffee, wine on the weekends, have my meals with my husband, and maybe soon little kiddos like these little mice. This scene is also lovely in the book where the mice come and sing Christmas carols to Mole and Rat, and it's just so precious, so precious. But guys, if you like children's book, and not even if you like children's book, because if you like The Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, The Hobbit, of course, if you like all that, you will like this. If you like old style, English style, you know, it's very much like that. But it's just so sweet. It's just so precious. And I think that you guys might like this book. But yeah, it was a true gift reading this. It just made me happy. You know, not that I was going through something, but I was. And sometimes you just don't feel that much joy. You know, it's normal. But before I started this book, I was in a, moment, a hard moment, and it really truly helped me, and it might help you too if you're going through that, or maybe not. Maybe if you're happy and cheery and all that, you will find joy in this book. And yeah, I hope you guys pick it up, and I hope you guys like it. If you have read it, comment down below. If you haven't, and then you do, and then you can come back here and we can talk, because I always answer you guys, and I just love talking about books with you. So that's it. This was the July book for the project, and it was an amazing one, and I cannot wait to read it with our kiddos whenever that happens. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.